I don't think there was a punchline. Like,
One of the things
oh,
that struck me was your notion of success, especially successful people, that they have a tendency toward being a sociopath.
yeah,
Uh,
a lot of successful people are creeps. And it's really uncomfortable being around them. You know, and
yeah,
it's
go ahead.
funny, in the movie I edited a line out, which I wish I kind of kept it in, but you know, I said it's important to keep quitting, and I'm saying this at a
Right,
college commencement speech,
right.
and you can smell the parents' stomach acid because they had just spent a small fortune. But you know, I say keep quitting through your whole life, but the key is, you know, keep quitting till you end up someplace you don't want to leave. And
Right.
and I feel like that's where I landed as a storyteller. You know, I
Mm,
still do things that I'm not crazy about to make money, but I'm grateful I get to. You know, my day job is great. You know, if going
yeah.
on the road is my day job, that's great. But it's you know, I make a living to make movies. I don't make a living making movies. You know.
Right. So interesting enough, next question. The one element you didn't talk about was the money aspect of show business. You don't have to tell me the amount, but what was your reaction to either that first big amount or the biggest amount of money you were paid at once, given your working class family roots?
Yeah.
And what were the lessons in that moment?
It was really funny. I had this big check from the first police academy I was in. It was big to me, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't even know if I had a credit card, you know. So I got this big check, and uh, I go, "Oh, I'd like to start a banking account," and they're like, they're like, "Well, you need a form of ID, and it has to be more than you know, $500." And I go, okay. And then I slid him this check. And then the next thing I know is like, I'm sitting down in an office. It was really funny. Uh, you know, would you like a coffee or sparkling water? And I was like, oh, this is weird, man. This is really weird.
I love it.
But you know,
Uh,
I've always I've always just had a weird relationship with money, you know, where I might have overspent, but I've always, there has been times, and I'm not saying this because I'm an awesome guy, but there's been times when I've been offered certain gigs that would have paid me a lot of money, um, but I just knew I wouldn't be happy doing it. But that's maturity, you know, because when you first start, you just say yes to everything, and then you end up in talking horse movies, which is a good lesson for me. But
we all have lessons to learn.
yeah,
um, both you and Dana have Catholic roots,
yeah,
as do I.
yeah.
How do you feel that still informs your life? And in the end, is that intensity of both the religion and the hypocrisy of it being so damaging to human beings? Uh, really,
Yeah, as
really.
Barry, you know, Barry said that Catholicism is based on fear and real estate, and yeah, it's like it definitely shapes the way you think. So
Yes.
everything I think, well, the majority of the things I think are sinful in a way. So I don't even have to act. I'm a kid. I'm a little kid, and I think my thoughts are going to make me go to hell. You know, it's that's a form of abuse
Yeah, it
unto
really is.
itself. But it's, you know, Dana and I both are from the back east, and we're same family. We're both the fifth kid in Catholic Irish families, and the thing that's interesting is, you know, I think there's two kinds of Irish Catholics. There's the oppressed, Conan O'Brien, Dana Gould, you know, shame, shame, and then there's the kind I am, which is, you know, you drink too much, you wear your heart on your sleeve, you get arrested, you cry a lot, you fall in love all the time. You know, I mean, it's that, you know, that would be, I'm that version of that. So it's the Goofus and Mick Gallant, I guess, instead of Goofus and Gallant is the two of us.
The I always say because I'm a recovering Catholic, I'm not a recovering alcoholic. So that's
Yeah,
they
well,
go hand in hand.
they tend to, you know,
Yeah. Yes.
You know what the dilemma and the weirdness, and you probably have this. It's like it is not a good organization. It has done so much damage to so many
Terrible.
people. It has it has systematic abuse cover-ups in its doctrine.
And it keeps going
Um,
on and on.
but with that said, you got your mom or your aunt who's doing all the right things, who cares about people, and if you say, "Hey, mom, 10% of that dollar that you put in the basket is going to defend pedophiles." The world is so Thanksgivings in general are horrible now. I guess the indigenous people would be like, well, boo-hoo. You think it's been
Karma,
think it's been
baby, karma.
yeah, they think it's been a picnic for us. Oh, you don't want to talk to your red state family. Boo-hoo.
What sensibility in your early experiences in show business did you take into your world as a director? And how did the experience of each of your films inform your knowledge as a director, both in TV and film?
Well, I would say there's a thing, especially directing live television, or like when I would work on the Kimmel show. The actual, when we were live was so much just like being on stage doing stand-up. I'm watching the show. I'm kind of going off of the script. I'm watching it, and when you're on stage, you're kind of doing your script. You're trying to guess where you should go next, but you gotta shut up this heckler. The waiter just dropped a tray of drinks.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit, live television is a little bit like driving a car. You have the one, but you keep checking the mirrors. And live television is so much like stand-up, where you're juggling a whole bunch of plates. As far as the question about how stand-up influenced the movies I made,
Well, just the sensibility of like the lessons of being a performer taken into being a director. How did that inform it?
well, I mean, as someone who's been in front of the camera, well, I will say this: the thing that as a stand-up that helps, like unlike people that come from commercials or other forms, they'll shoot things a million times from a different angle, and then hopefully it's funny. It's like, as a comedian, it works. Let's move on.
Yeah.
I'm not threatened by people ad-libbing or changing. So, and I also try to keep a light atmosphere. Now, I know that there's really talented geniuses who were controlling and kind of hard to deal with, but if I'm making a movie that's supposed to have a message about humanity, or supposed to be funny, or supposed to be, and people are compromised in the process, then I'm just a hypocrite. So I tend to keep things very light on my sets, on purpose. I always usually have a stupid hat on. Because if you start screaming at people and you have a sombrero on, you're a douchebag. You're a moron. Let's not forget who's got the Pope mitre on. But I don't think of myself as a cinephile. I think there's a lot of people who I admire who know every single art house film ever made, and
Yes.
and I know I'm kind of, sometimes I'm a little envious of them, because they have they understand the language of cinema, which once Terry Gilliam said to me, he goes, "You have no respect for the language of cinema," and I was like, "Can I put that on the poster?" But so I but I was trying to think, it's like, well, what am I doing? And I think my stand-up for the past 20 years has been a guy who goes on stage and tells stories, and my movies is I'm telling stories. So I see myself as a storyteller that gets to use different, without sounding too pretentious, different mediums.
This is Patrick McDonald for HollywoodChicago.com. Copyright 2021.